Hello people, and welcome to my latest update on my toolbox layout. As you can see, there is now an extra building on the right hand side, but first we shall just take a quick look over here on the left. The building beside the tower, which was one of the main focuses on my last video, is pretty much complete. I haven't joined them all together yet. I'm going to wait a bit more before I do that. But I've now got the stone brickwork down the sides to match the tower. Also got the roof in place. There's still a few little bits to go on there, which will be finished off once it's glued on. So that will sit there and matches in the corner there nicely. One thing I did notice, I don't think I mentioned it in my previous video, the stonework down the side of the tower. Unfortunately, I didn't notice when I glued them, and some of those I've actually attached upside down. Hopefully it's not too obvious. Obviously it's I've pointed it out now, so everyone knows that watches this video. But yeah, for now that'll be fine. Over the other side of the layout though, just try to get rid of some of that shadow. I have now extended the length of this building, because the original model, the half length was to there. So I've now glued on an extra bit to make it longer for the depth. And then we also have the narrowed building alongside it, basically finished, apart from the details like the stonework down the sides and bits of the roof and that. So yeah, again, similar construction to the back of the other one. I've just cut it down and cut all the parts for the kit down where it joins together, to narrow that down to the right depth. That will be glued onto the side, and as you can see there's various windows. Really rubbish filming again for me, sorry. Shaking the camera around. Where those windows are, the narrow building will glue over the front, over the top of those. Something along those lines. So yeah, slightly different construction to this one because of the switches to operate the points with over here. I needed to be able to access the underneath. So if I just turn the building around, there's a huge cutout in the side. So I'm about to swap hands holding the camera. Right, there we go, not got my shadow over it now. So basically, it took a bit of thinking about to get this to work. But essentially it was a case of cutting parts of the floors up in such a way that I was able to build the narrowed depth building there from the full length of the original kit. So there's about that much sliced off the edge of the original side wall to make it the right depth. But yeah, it took a bit of thinking about to get the floors for both buildings out of the kit, because obviously where the supports for each floor goes in, they needed to be cut to fit, to give me enough spare bits of card to complete that. But you can see vaguely how I've constructed it there, with each of the floors held up. One thing I did do on this side, because as we've seen on this side, I've just left the windows out where the other building will be glued onto the side. Although this side isn't intended to be viewed when looking at the layout, because of that cutout, so that I can get to the switches for the points. I did decide I didn't want to just leave the blank window frames on this side where where I've cut through the wall down there, cutting through the edge of the window. So I used some spare brick textured card, which actually came from the central building there. Came with that kit. And then, yeah, just positioned those behind those windows to make it look like they'd been bricked up, rather than having half a window frame with no glass in it. But yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's come out so far. Like I say, still needs the roof pieces on and various other little detail bits. Then there's also the bits down the front as well. Let's just put that back on the layout. I still haven't made an operating video. I started one, recorded a bit of footage, but never finished it. I'll just swing this around. Might not have space here, think of it. Push that back. Oops. Right, can't really see because of the light, but I've got the cutout there so that I can reach in and still operate the switch. Just about see that there. Yeah, I haven't fixed the switches in position yet, so they can still be lifted up. But otherwise, yeah. So they're in there. And, well, that's basically as far as I've got since the last update. So it's slowly getting there. I've got a large sheet of card that can be used for mounting photos with, that I intend trying to use to build the height of the ground level up, so that I can have some of the road surface at the same height as the top of the rails. So as soon as I've got these 3 buildings finished to a point where I'm happy with them, to be able to use them as templates, I shall glue those, glue all the various bits together, because like I say, the 3 buildings at this end are all still separate and need gluing together, and the same with these 2. So once I've done that, I'll be able to use them as templates to cut the card for the road surface, to fit hopefully in such a way that obviously where I've got doors it'll make it a bit difficult, like on the front here, and the front of the tower. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to cut the card in such a way that the buildings will all basically slot into position, so they don't move once they're on the layout. But yes, that's where I am at the moment. If you want to leave any comments or feedback or what have you, feel free to do so. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll get the operating video completed at some point soon, hopefully. Thanks for watching.